Mike's Daily Podcast.
I am now 49 years old. Wow. Can you believe it? 49. The 49ers. Hey! I'm in the Bay Area, so it's cool to be 49. Well, it's episode 1493. There is a 49 in today's number, 1493. And today we have
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Chely Shoehart, Floyd the Floorman, John Deere the engineer. Well, it was an exciting drive to get here today.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
As I was getting on the road today, there was a guy in a BMW. And here is something that I would like to tell to you, and that is those little German BMW cars look like Hitler's face staring back at you. That's a snarky thing to say. Well,
Mike's Daily Podcast.
those old BMWs look like a little hit. It's weird. They've got like the little mustache where the license plate is. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Mike's
Okay.
Daily
And then this guy
Podcast.
in the BMW is driving really slow.
Yeah!
So I try and go around him. He cuts in front of me. So like that, I almost hit him at 4 o'clock in the morning. Not the best. What the? It was a... And now I've just done... Oh, the Madman intro. Look who just walked in. Hello, Mike Matthews. It's Chely Shoehart, Gift Stuff Supervisor. What's Mad Men? Mad Men was this show that had that really pretty redhead girl that I can't think of her name at the moment, but she was awesome in it. And she's very tall, and she's statuesque. And that's about it.
Happy New Year!
Thank you. Look who else walked in. Oh, Mike, this is Floyd the Floorman. And this is John Deere the engineer. It's not New Year's yet. It's a new year for me, John Deere. It's a new year for me to begin the year of my 49. The last year of my 40s is what it is. The last year of my 40s. And that's life.
That's life.
That's what all the people say when you get old. I'm halfway through my life right now. Hopefully.
I'm really busy right now.
Because I'm halfway through my life. Because I want to get to 100, I guess. That's my thinking.
And here's today's podcast picture.
100 years old.
Yep.
Yep.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Hey, this is a wonderful picture of my wonderful dog, Basil the Boxer, at Carmel over the weekend on Saturday. And he does not like it when I take a picture of him. He seems to always taking a picture. I gotta look away. He's a shy dog. And your dog probably does the same thing. Dogs don't like to be photographed. Some dogs like to pose. Hey, if you'd like to email me your cool dog pose, mikesdailypodcast@gmail.com, or, post to my Facebook, my Tumblr, my Twitter. Links to all those at mikesdailypodcast.com. You can also call me at 336-MM-DAILY, 336-MM-DAILY. And if you're going to do any shopping on Amazon, go through that link at mikesdailypodcast.com first, because that helps out our show. In fact, I almost bought 7 tubes of dog toothpaste yesterday. And I was going to buy exactly 7, because if I bought exactly 7 and no less, I would get free shipping. So I was like, I'm going to get all this dog toothpaste because I love cleaning my dog's teeth. And he loves it too. Thank you. So also on my way to work today, as I'm driving through Hayward, there's this lane. I don't know where all these cars are coming from at 4:30 in the morning. This car in front of me is an Altima, and he is not moving. He's barely at a crawl, and the lights are green, and and I look at it, and I've got the silhouette of him. He's turning to his side, so he's not looking forward. He's looking to the side, and he's yelling at someone. So I just see the silhouette of a man yelling at his passenger, whoever that is, and he's not driving. So I try to get around him, and of course there's always, whenever you're trying to get around a car in the Bay Area, there's always someone just as you're trying to get into that lane in a truck. A huge truck. It may not be a semi, but it will be like an F-150 Silverado, big, annoying, obnoxious piece of crap. And the only good thing is I hope those things are still guzzling a bunch of gas and causing their drivers to lose so much money because they're annoying. Just always there, making a ton of noise. They drive up and down my street and podcast over. Listen to me, I'm an old man now. Get off my lawn! Ah, you darn tootin'. And you
darn tootin'.
And they're driving up and down at all times of the night with their loud noises. Seriously, why do they gotta be so loud? Podcaster Valley would be so peaceful and lovely if it wasn't for those darn loud trucks. My point being that there's lots of Mike'sDailyPodcast.com is the website to go to if you'd like to help out the show and check out all the places you can listen to the show. There's also a PayPal there, and you can get a special MP3 for thee from all the Café Anyway characters. Wishing you a happy whatever day. Hey, but first, hackers stole the personal data of 57 million customers and drivers from Uber. I knew there was a reason why I never used Uber. Friends would use Uber and use Uber and they would say, Mike, hop in this car that we're getting on Uber. And they were Uber this, Uber that. Oh, the greatest thing ever. Uber, by the way, is German for over, like Uber alles. But a massive breach that the company concealed for more than a year. This week, the ride-hailing company ousted Joe Sullivan, Chief Security Officer. Oh, by the way, I'm not going to be able to find this. But on NPR yesterday, on All Things Considered, they were talking about this story, and the anchor that they have on, what's her name? It's Alyssa, not Audrey Cornish, not Kelly McEvers, not Renee Montagne, not Steve Inskeep, not Melissa Block. Where is she? Elise. It's the Elise something. She was talking to this girl about, well, the technology reporter. It sounded very, very young. And so they were talking back and forth, and both of these reporters are very young. So it almost had the sound of like you were listening in somewhere at a college or something where two kids are going back and forth like, can you believe Uber did that? Yeah. And this is All Things Considered, the big, usually stodgy, bum, 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 bum. I'm Robert Seale. Let's take a look at this thing called Uber. Why is it being hacked? Today we go to... My point being, it was very humorous to listen to, and you should check it out on the podcast, but I just tried doing a search for the podcast, and I can't find it. They're not as easy to find as Mike's Daily Podcast at Mike'sDailyPodcast.com. So, apparently, the Joe Sullivan and one of his deputies have been fired for their roles in keeping the hack under wraps. My point being, young people use Uber a lot more than us old people. I will not ever use Uber. I didn't like Uber to begin with, and I didn't like I kept hearing about the horrible sexist culture they have there. And they were the sexist culture before we found out our entire culture. Well, we always knew it was sexist, but I mean, seriously, now it's... The wrapping is pulled back, and we're seeing all of the craziness and the Weinsteins. What was the movie I was gonna... Oh, King's Speech is a Harvey Weinstein movie. And I was watching a thing about that George the Sixth, King George the Sixth. I couldn't think of who it was yesterday. King George the Fifth was his father. Then there's King George the Sixth, and then he was the father of our current Queen Mother, Queen Elizabeth in England, Great Britain. And that was supposed to be some kind of an Irish accent or Southern Scottish, British. Compromised data from the October 2016 attack included names, email addresses, phone numbers, of 50 million Uber riders around the world. And they revealed this information to Bloomberg. The personal information of about 7 million drivers were accessed as well, including some 600,000 U.S. drivers' license numbers. No social security numbers, credit card details, trip location info, or other data was taken. At the time of the incident, Uber was negotiating with U.S. regulators investigating separate claims of privacy violations. So, Uber now says it had a legal obligation to report the hack to regulators and to drivers whose license numbers were taken. So, as you can read between the lines here, Uber was never going to tell us this information. They were going to keep this hidden, just like Facebook was going to keep hidden all the rubles they got from Russia to change our election. So the company paid hackers. Yes, that's true. Uber paid hackers $100,000 to delete the data. They went ahead and they paid the ransom for the ransomware. To keep the breach quiet, Uber said it believes the information was never used, but declined to disclose the identity of the attackers. I hate Uber. Will I use Lyft? Is Lyft any more innocent? I don't know. Hey, Charlie Rose apparently was a perv. I don't know. Wait, did you ever watch him and wonder why he's talking to you in the darkness on those PBS shows he did? Hi, I'm Charlie Rose, and I'm standing in complete darkness, staring at the camera with the he always had this look on his face like he was some kind of a zombie. I don't know. I mean, I'm not the most handsome man, but still, people are shocked about Charlie Rose. I'm like, not too surprising. And then people that are shocked about Charlie Rose kind of have their own skeletons going on, and I'm like, not surprising. So this is shocking news. 8 people were rescued and 3 remain missing after a U.S. Navy plane crashed into the western Pacific Ocean. This happened today. The C-2 Greyhound transport aircraft came down about 500 nautical miles, which is about 925 kilometers southeast of Okinawa, as it was bringing passengers and cargo from Japan to the USS Ronald Reagan aircraft carrier. The Reagan was operating in the Philippine Sea during a joint exercise with Japan's Maritime Self-Defense Force when it's a twin propeller plane, and it crashed at about 2:45 p.m. at Japan time. The cause of the crash was not immediately clear, and the incident will be investigated. The 8 people they were rescued about 40 minutes later and taken to the Reagan for medical evaluation. They are in good condition. U.S. and Japanese naval ships and aircraft are searching for the missing. Then Roy Moore, he sounds a little like this. Can we bring the audio up?
Because some people believe that shows that you're serious about proving your innocence.
We're talking about the Washington Post. We're talking about the women involved. Mm-hmm. You know, it takes time to develop a case and file a case, because you just don't go file a case without some proof. And we're getting proof.
We're going to get after them for what they said about me. Because I never did touch those little girls. Never.
So Roy Moore is considering legal action against one or more of the women. Oh, what a shock. That's what Trump did when those allegations came out about him. There was a lot of allegations about him, and we still don't know for sure. The same with Bill Clinton, and that's the time we live in. We'll get to the bottom of all these. And then no more sexual harassment ever. And the world will be a beautiful place. And yay. The end. No, so more the head of Zimbabwe finally left. Mugabe? Is that wait. I don't have that story in front of me, so I should Robert Mugabe, wasn't it? Yeah, I think that's what I heard. So that was a big deal. Did you hear about that story? Okay. Then I won't go into it. So then more, he is going to try and, in the election on December 12th, he'll probably replace General Jeff Sessions. our Attorney General, I mean, he has strongly denied all accusations that he inappropriately approached or accosted women, some of whom were underage at the time of the alleged incident. Asked about some of his accusers in an interview last night, he spoke with Scott Beeson on Alabama Cable Network. He said, "I don't know them. I've never spoken to them. I certainly didn't do anything to them." And then, I don't know, the other day, I think this was last week, I was walking my dog, Basil the Boxer, and I look up in one of the trees in Podcaster Valley, and what kind of bird is that up in the tree? Oh, they're turkeys. A bunch of turkeys were up in the tree. And we see a lot of turkeys all over the hillsides of Podcaster Valley. But apparently they're causing a lot of trouble in American suburbs. This according to the Washington Post. The birds of late have been accused of cracking roof tiles outside of Sacramento, dangerously disrupting traffic in western New York, and terrorizing residents in Akron, Ohio. Reports of turkey aggression. Turkey aggression. In the Boston area have spiked in the past 3 years, forcing authorities to use lethal force at least 5 times. Dinner. When the Cambridge, Massachusetts City Council took up the matter recently, one member told of a turkey that chased a child and her dog outside a church.
Yo quiero Taco Bell.
Not that dog. Not Basil the Boxer, but terrorizing a dog and her child outside a church, and another recounted coming face to face with a with a bird, which included a beak, outside a community gathering where the large fowl had been discussed. Okay. As we go outside of Café Anyway, we're bringing Mike's Daily Podcast somewhere in Podcaster Valley. Thank you for listening to the show. I'm going to be getting some drinks, celebrating my birthday with one of my listeners. I guess my only listener, Sylvia. Thank you, Sylvia. That's very nice of you to have Mike Matthews join you for a birthday drink. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I might have a beer. And Homer says, beer. And it should be fine. Anyway. Café Anyway. It's going to be a great time. And it's my birthday. And the last year of my 40s. I know. Next show, it's going to be Benita, the Disgruntled Fiddle Player, and the Brewmaster. Have a wonderful Friday. Hey, it feels like a Friday, doesn't it? A lot of you don't have to work tomorrow. I do a little bit. In fact, I'm going to bring you a podcast on Thanksgiving tomorrow, if all goes well. So I will charge ahead and bring you a great podcast. Boy, this show has lots of sound effects in it. And that's how it should be on my birthday, dang it.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at mikesdailypodcast.com. Email Mike now at mikesdailypodcast@gmail.com. See you tomorrow. Bye!